Hey, it's Walter from the Blu-Grit Garage. Trying to make 500 subs. I think we're at like 387. Need 500 total to make it to the No Name Nationals in Sikeston, Missouri at Skelton Motorsports Park. And we were trying to get the Maverick going, and I'd be kidding myself thinking I'm going to get that running in less than a month. So plan B was to take my autocross car. It's a 66 Mustang. Hey, it runs, it's safe. If I got the Maverick going, it wouldn't be very safe because I'd be cutting corners. It's just a simple inline six, and I'm going to do a few things for the No Name Nationals because this is an autocross car, and that's a 1/8 mile drag strip. So for autocrossing, I have to weigh 3,180 pounds minimum, and that's 3,000 pounds for the car, 180 pounds for the driver. I don't weigh 180 pounds, so I had to add a little extra weight too, plus the car was underweight. So I put ammo boxes filled with lead weights. And I do have a battery in the trunk, and I got another ammo box in the trunk. And my heater box is filled with sand. So like I said, I had to bring it up to weight. But for the drag race, since I don't have much horsepower, to get the horsepower to weight ratio a little bit better, I'm going to take the weight out. So I was thinking of getting a lawnmower battery because this thing doesn't take much to crank. So I'll remove this box, put a lawnmower battery in its place, take the battery out of the trunk because I don't want to drill a hole in the back of the car for a shutoff switch. That's one of the tech things I have to do, and I don't want to drill holes in the car. So I'll remove the battery from the trunk so it's basically stock, so I can get away without using the switch. I can take the cable out going all the way to the back because what I'll probably end up doing for autocross is this corner was heavy anyway, so if I put the lighter battery in here, I can put this battery box on the left hand side, and I can balance out the rear. So yeah, that's the plan. And like I said, this is just a plain straight six. I even have the cast iron exhaust manifold. I don't even have a header on it. It does have a 2-barrel carb. It's a Ford 2-barrel carb. The Holly wouldn't corner, but the Ford seems to run better. It's not as finicky, and it corners. It doesn't die on the left-handers or flood on the left-handers, basically what it was doing with the Holly. But, I mean, this is a nothing engine. It still has the original pistons. I just honed the hell out of it and threw new rings in it back in '92. Hasn't blown up yet. And the camshaft, you couldn't get, everything was on back order, and the only cam is in it. I think it's a Crane, possibly, or it might be comp cams. But it was a 252 or something like that. It was basically stock, so the only other modifications I have on this car is I do have the dual master cylinder. It's manual brakes. I do have a 4-speed in here. I don't know if you can see down there. Basically I just have a chain holding that side of the engine down. So that's basically it up here. When I built the car, I put in brakes. There's single piston sliding brakes from a 68 Mustang. 67 had the 4-piston Kelsey Hayes, but those were pricey, and I had these, so I threw them on there. And that was an issue, switching back and forth for autocross for the different years. I had somebody protest me for the brakes because there's something about you cannot reduce the number of pistons, but there was something else saying that if it was a drum brake car, you can make it disc brakes. So since this was an original drum brake car, I had writing from the tech inspector for the SCCA saying it was legal. So I've got a big sway bar on the front of this. I don't know if you can see it. Well, take my word for it. It's an 1.1 front sway bar. I do have multiple heat shields because it likes to percolate fuel because the header heat comes up and gets things hot. But for drag racing, I think I'm going to take one end link off so that the front raises up for weight transfer. Basically, when I built the car, this has a 6-point cage. You can see it going down there because when I built the car, they did not allow subframe connectors, and it was kind of flexible, so the cage was in lieu of the subframe connectors. That's why it's a little overkill having a cage on a 6-cylinder car for an autocross. It doesn't go that fast, but it comes in handy now since I'll be drag racing. I can just loop the shoulder belts, and that's what I do with the autocross car. Just loop the seat belts, the shoulder belts, through that horizontal tube. This car did have traction masters. I changed the springs, and whenever you do anything change like that, you have to re-weld the front piece because it's at a different, it'll load up. I mean, I think it was maybe an 1/8 inch off or 3/16 off, but that was enough to put it in a bind. But I have 5-leaf reverse eye springs. As long as I don't take off too hard, I don't have too much wheel hop. I do have a 1-inch lowering block to get it, the height I wanted. So yeah, traction might be a little bit of a problem, but like I said, it's only a 6-cylinder. Go back to the interior. I finally came in December of 2026. I got some Summit seat belts. There's the number. It's all black hardware. It has the little latch. I didn't like the dial. I have the dial there, and sometimes when you latch it, you bump the dial, and then you can't put the last piece in. You got to start over. I kind of prefer these. You don't bump the dial and unbuckle yourself in the middle of a autocross. I think they were about $86 a piece. It was $173 with shipping for 2 of them. So I'll put the second one in so Anna can ride with us, possibly on one trip. So I'm going to have these put in. That's the other thing for AHRA. You got to have either the stock belts, which I got to find, and I really don't want to go with a stock lap belt. I want a shoulder belt, so it's kind of silly that these have to be replaced every 2 years. Or I can put a 60-year-old belt in there and I'd be okay. It doesn't, kind of rubs me wrong a little bit, but I think it rubs a lot of people wrong. But like I said, for $86 a piece, that's not too bad for safety. One thing, whenever you mess with suspension, I had an issue, and I thought the traction masters were binding one time, and it turned out, you can see that right there where it's wearing. The sway bar was cornering so hard, the sway bar was coming down and riding on that, so your suspension geometry changes drastically when you're bottoming out suspension parts. But like I said, I'm not running that now. So I just have autocross tires. They're probably 3 or 4 years old. They're getting kind of hard. I really should be replacing them, but I'll just run those on the strip. Like I said, this is just for fun. And then you can see the one ammo box over there filled with lead weights. I'm going to take the lead out. I leave the box here, but I'm going to take the weights out. And then I'm going to take the battery out of here and have nothing back here on this corner. And when I autocross, I'll put the boxer in front back here and add the weights here. And I'm going to make sure I weigh everything as I take it off, so I can make sure I have the right weights right when I put it back together. But kind of a walk around. You saw this. I made a couple videos of this car. One was spinning. So I had another video. I don't know if it came out yet. It's going to be you've seen the video with Brian with his black 70 Duster with the Hemi conversion. So I have one where I gave him a ride, and he's commenting after we come back to the grid. You can hear what he's talking about it and what, how his car works, or how he goes through the course. So like I said, this is simple. It's 1.1/8 front sway bar, just stock later model year Mustang brakes in front. It does have the control arms that are dropped 1 inch for Shelby. For autocross, they have a deal where if you have any Shelby modifications, you have to make it all like everything like a Shelby. But there was a rule back, the SCCA raced 65 and 66 Mustang coupes, and they were called Group 2 cars, and they had the control arms dropped. So I had some paperwork, so I got that legal on this. So and like I said, that's basically the front big sway bar. I do have 750-pound front springs. I had to cut them down. They might be a little on the low side. If I drop, they're perfect now, but if I drop a V8 in it, it might sink a little bit. I might have to put a thicker hat on the top to get it up a 1/4 inch. In the back, it's just a 8-inch rear end. Like I said, it's a top loader 4-speed, 6-cylinder top loader 4-speed, 8-inch rear end, running a 380 gear. And I think it was Mustang Plus made the 5-leaf reverse eye springs, and if I would have, they kind of talked me out of it, thinking it was street strip or street track, but I think the next time I'd go with the 5.5 just to get that little bit of wheel hop out of it. So I guess that's about it. And there's the wife's car. It's the evil twin. It's kind of interesting. It's a bench seat car. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but the bottom's one piece and it has a fold down armrest, so I thought that was kind of cool. I think it's a 6-cylinder automatic, so automatic and bench seat, and I think that's about it for the options. Got some Shelby Cal 500 wheels back in the day. They're 4-lug. And then Scarebird front disc brake conversion and a Summit dual master cylinder with a power booster, so it's easier to stop on that thing. So hope you enjoyed the little walk around and see what plan B is going to be, and I'll see how quick we can get it down the quarter. Like I said, it's not a, you know, it's got some gear, it's got a 4-speed, it'll be lighter, so it might be about what a stock 289 2-barrel single exhaust would be. But it'll be a lot of fun, and hope to see you there. Hope we make the 500. Let's see who gets us over 400. You know, we're getting close. Let's see if we get a few more subs and see who the person that gets us over 400, and then we'll see who gets us over 500. So it'll be interesting. We've got, you know, till the 19th. I'd like to get it a little sooner. I don't want to be waiting out in front with a sign when people come in, please subscribe. I like to get it done a little sooner than that, but if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. I might put a banner, hang it off the front while we're towing it up there, maybe get a few people signing up on the highway. So, okay, well, and to all you that have subscribed, thank you very much, and hope to see you there. Thank you very much. Bye.